I used to game and sit in a chair for hours every day, and I really loved it, but it came at a cost. I was feeling unhealthy, unfulfilled, and I was constantly in pain. If you game and struggle to fit in your fitness, then you might be feeling that same frustration. You might even feel lazy or unmotivated. But that's actually far from the truth. The reality is, the deck is stacked against you. So today we're gonna have a look at what that deck actually is and how we can tackle each element of it. By addressing these elements, I went from having no balance, pain, and those sedentary gaming sessions to becoming a fitness coach and even studying the intersection between gaming, fitness, and psychology, while also managing to keep a healthy, balanced gaming habit. And the number one reason gamers struggle, I bet it's not what you're thinking right now. Okay, let's get started. First, we're gonna focus on the why it feels so bad and what is happening in your brain, and then we'll get to the fixes. Chapter 1, the hidden barriers, with number 4 being the most important one. Before we get started, I want to make it clear that my goal here is not to make you feel guilty or bad about your current gaming habit. My only goal is to make you aware of your current habits and how you could begin to gently tackle them. Maybe starting at just one barrier at a time. And if something doesn't resonate with you, for example, you really enjoy spending 3 hours gaming every night and you don't want to change that, then ignore that barrier and tackle the other ones instead. Okay, barrier number 1, the time and energy conflict. Time is limited. That time spent gaming crowds out time that could be spent exercising, especially because gaming feels a little more accessible. Also, both gaming and exercise normally happen after work. And on some days we get an after work slump. When we have that slump, gaming often feels like a relief, whereas exercise feels like effort. It's just so much easier to pick gaming because it provides us with immediate rewards and often social interaction. And that leads us into barrier number 2, immediate versus delayed rewards. Exercise often offers delayed gratification and slower progress. So your brain naturally wants to pick the thing which provides a more immediate reward, the gaming. Next, barrier number 3, mental and physical friction. Sitting for long periods of time reduces your baseline fitness. This can make movement feel achy or uncomfortable or even sometimes painful when you go to do it again. And this creates kind of a vicious cycle because you're less likely to try it again if you had a bad experience with it. Also, once you enter that sedentary state at the computer, especially when you're gaming, you often enter flow state, which makes it really hard to break out of that gaming session, even if you had planned movement beforehand. And now finally, the big one. This is what completely changed my fitness for the better. Barrier number 4, thinking frequency. In my experience as a coach, the difference between a fit person or a fit gamer and a sedentary one is the thinking frequency. A fit person literally loads fitness in their brain daily. It's like an active buff almost. It's very high priority on their mind. Whereas a sedentary person, like I used to be, maybe thinks about it once or twice a week. Or maybe when they see someone doing some exercise, or if they feel discomfort, for example, in their shoulder, or a bit of pain elsewhere. Often those negative feelings can trigger a need for change. This makes it very difficult to build the habit because the drive doesn't start or come from within you. Luckily, there are many ways to increase the frequency at which you think and prioritize fitness. One of them, a major pusher, is identity. Fitness isn't a skill that doesn't belong to any one personality type. You can see this in the gaming community, you can see this in streamers, and gamers from all different genres have managed to find balance. In fact, the unhealthy and sedentary gamer is not that strong of a stereotype. Okay, so how do we start to build this new way of thinking and address the fitness barriers? So now that we know the why, let's look at the simple solutions that help you break down each barrier. Number 1, start small. We need to begin with small doses of the habit and doses of the thoughts. Some key things we need to make clear immediately are consistency beats perfection. So do your utter best to get rid of the perfectionist mindset. So for example, let's say you only have 20 minutes. It's not enough time maybe for an entire full body workout with 4 sets per exercise, but it is enough time for 1 or 2 key major lifts or a quick jog. In this case, it's far, far, far better to take the action than to not. So that's your first kind of change of thought. Maybe you have 20 minutes before a game. Try and fit in 20 push-ups, 20 squats, lunges, and maybe even pull-ups if you have a pull-up bar. Don't restrict yourself to that full workout. because you're going to see progress in multiple muscle groups if you take action in those little time gaps that you actually have, whether it's between the gaming sessions or before or after. Use micro thoughts daily, so set timers. When you look at someone else jogging, try and remind yourself you want to start this habit. You are someone who likes or wants to at least try and jog. Keep reminding yourself that you're somebody who moves. Does not have to look like an Olympic athlete. Personally, I began with gentle yoga flows. I told myself, I want to move, I don't want this pain. I am someone who can do a simple yoga flow each day. Doesn't have to be world-class yoga flow, but I am someone who does yoga. If I was able to get that 1 10-minute session of yoga in a day, or even as little as 1 time a week, then I am someone who does yoga. The goal over time is to gently bump up the frequency. Another really good way of adding this into your day is to journal about it, set blocks on your calendar to think about it or to actually do your workout. Just more occurrences of fitness. Buy books, put stickers on your monitor, follow fitness accounts on social media. Just dose yourself with more exposure. Another really good hack is getting a coach because they'll constantly remind you of fitness. There'll be this background pressure whenever you get a text from them. Oh, I forgot to do my workout. Okay, next one, make movement convenient. We do not want friction. We want to make movement easier than doing nothing. Maybe you've heard of the scientific experiment where people were locked in a room with a little tool that electrocutes them, or the option of doing nothing. In the majority of the cases, the people actually electrocuted themselves out of boredom. I'm not suggesting you do that. However, we can make exercise feel like the easier option compared to doing nothing. For example, in between league games, you could put a blocker on your social media, put your phone away so you don't have access to YouTube on your computer or your phone, lay out your yoga mat, and in between those cue sessions, maybe doing a fun little quick bout of movement on the yoga mat will be more appealing to you than doing nothing. Next one, gaming. It's a really good idea to integrate movement mandatory breaks. So for example, 5-minute walk, getting a cup of tea, doing a couple squats, maybe some wall push-ups, something that aligns with your current fitness goal. In general, some really good low, no cost habits are just 10-minute posture flows, 10-minute walks using a standing desk and moving around a little bit, or an under-desk treadmill. Also, in most cases, to make it easier to move, you want to schedule your gym session before your gaming session. It's a lot harder to get up and go to the gym after gaming than it is to do it before. And like we said, gaming requires a lot of focus, so you can get distracted and it can tire you out a little bit, making the mental decision to go to the gym harder. If you still feel like you're struggling to go to the gym, then make sure you do the essentials like pack your bag the night before. Do only the basics or the fundamentals at the gym, the exercises you love to get you back into the habit. Or just completely move your workouts to home if the gym is not working for you, at least at the beginning. Do what's consistent for you and then you can add on to it as time passes. If you really feel like your days or evenings are limited, then I advise you to take 1 hour away from gaming and put it towards your fitness. This will make your gaming sessions feel so much better when you actually go and do them. You'll feel stronger, your posture will feel better, you'll feel more confident and make those gaming sessions even more intentional. So you can plan to really get the most out of those 2 hours. Less downtime. And you might find yourself enjoying your games more. That's the case for me in Final Fantasy. I don't find myself kind of drifting around the world or AFKing for hours like I did in university. I find myself now logging in for the content that I really like. Finally, we can integrate fitness into our gaming. Now, I do have an entire video on how to gamify your fitness, but here are a couple quick tricks to incorporate fitness into your gaming and maybe even this way make your gaming sessions feel a little more fun. First, we can habit stack. So using an already existing habit, your gaming, you could stack a fitness activity on top of it. There are loads of examples, like let's say you love playing the Switch at the end of the day. You could take that Switch on a treadmill, or you could even take it to the lifting rack. So instead of scrolling on your phone during your rest period, you could play the Switch. On top of that, one of the main goals that many of my clients have is weight loss. But that walking habit can get things started. Suddenly we've broken through that barrier of movement feeling a little icky because now you're doing it while you're gaming, which may make you want to eat healthier. It may make you want to move more. It can become mildly addictive. For me, I love to walk on the treadmill while I'm doing easy tasks on Final Fantasy, like gathering, or just any kind of crafting, socializing, and even some like light dungeons. I've also played League walking on the treadmill, but that gets a little confusing for the brain. If you're trying to do something like an intense team fight and you're trying to coordinate mechanically in the game, then your feet can kind of mismatch. So I would recommend it for the more chill stuff, but it's so nice to do. You can enjoy the atmosphere of the game and walk. Finally, exergames count. I recently found this really cool game on LinkedIn of all places called Monster Walk Step Adventure, and there are other games that exist like Pokemon Go and Zombies Run, which can gamify your fitness, but I cover lots of these again in the gamification video. Next, we want to upgrade your environment. So see if you can make space for movement. Get out a walking treadmill, get a yoga mat nearby, maybe keep some dumbbells in your room. I have a kettlebell, a foam roller, a little balance mat as well, and they all just give me some variety and fresh movement. They trigger the cues in my mind. I also constantly see my fitness clothes. I have them in the forefront of my wardrobe to keep me more likely to choose those clothes and then more prepared to go and do my workouts. Your environment is probably the most powerful catalyst you have to begin to shape your identity. The clothes in your environment shape who you are. The things in your environment tell yourself and others who you are and want to be. And just setting it up like you are a healthy person will begin to convince your brain that you are, slowly shifting the identity with as many cues as you can. That way, when you go out of this environment, you move homes, you go on vacation, change workplace, these triggers still come back to you. So it's not about forcing discipline. It's about redesigning your environment, your habits, including your micro thoughts and your identity, so that movement becomes the easier choice. Finally, no one is judging you. Fit people respect the hell out of any first step you make. Many of them, including myself, know how hard it is to go from sedentary to active. Gaming is evolving. Many people find this balance. What barriers stood out to you, and what could your unique mix of solutions be? All you need to do is pick one and start small, and the rewards will come. Thank you so much for listening. I wish you the best of luck. Let me know if you need help with anything or anything to add to the discussion. I'll be answering all of your comments. Till next time.